Hey everyone, this is Steve Weintraub with Collider, and I'm here at the Campari Media Studio at the Toronto International Film Festival. Want to give a huge thank you to Campari for being our sponsor. It allows us to cover all sorts of movies here at TIFF, like Blue Moon. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Listen, I just want to say, I've said it again and again and again, I love your collaborations, the way you guys work together. Before Sunrise changed my life. I fucking love that film. And I just want to say thank you so much for the art that you guys have done.
Well, thanks a lot. It changed my life too.
Yeah, thank you.
You know?
Yeah.
We're in this together.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's 30, we were shooting that movie 32 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can only say to anyone watching this who has not seen their resume of work together, for the love of fucking God, start watching. You know what I mean? Like, for real.
Like you.
Like, and I'm so serious. But listen, I really want to, I'm so sincere when I say Blue Moon is so fantastic, and your work in it is just unbelievable. There's going to be a lot of people, though, who actually haven't seen a trailer, don't know much about it.
Yeah, right.
I hate the generic thing, but how have you been describing it to people?
It's a howl into the night.
Of an artist being left behind.
Yeah. It's kind of a story of a guy who dies of heartbreak.
Yeah. That's pretty good. And it really, you know, I love the period, 1943, American musical theater, just that great era of Rodgers and Hart is coming to an end, and Rodgers and Hammerstein is starting with Oklahoma, this, you know, just huge moment in the life of American theater in 43, but it's from the perspective of the song lyricist who's being left behind. So I thought of another tagline would be like forgotten but not gone. You know, he's kind of at the party. It's sort of like being at the party of your ex's new wedding, but you're there. You know, it's kind of like
90 minutes real time at the opening night. Oh, it takes place on the opening night of Oklahoma, and it's my collaborator of 25 years, Richard Rodgers, is first collaboration with Oscar Hammerstein. Nobody knows if Oklahoma's going to be any good or not. It was the opening. And I'm there to rescue poor Richard Rodgers from his fate of having to work with this knucklehead when he should be working with me. And the evening does not go well.
So the thing about this film is you have to deliver about 1,000 pages of dialogue, and I was so blown away by how, like, your performance in this and what you had to pull off on screen. What was it like for you getting specifically ready for this role, and how did it compare to previous roles? Because this is, I've never seen you do something like this.
Look, I love acting, and I've been acting since I was a kid, and I've been studying it my whole life. And this is the hardest I ever worked. We didn't go out to dinner one time. It was kind of a monastic experience. Just everything that was.
you shaved your head. That's how monastic.
Well, I shaved my head, so I didn't want to go out because I didn't want to be seen.
So you're trying to say something about my haircut?
Well, I learned things about my scalp that I did not want to learn.
Yeah, me too.
But no, there's something about the velocity and intensity of the movie that there was no easy day, there was no easy hour. No. It wasn't, and because we were forced to shoot so quickly, we were making the movie every minute of the day. Like the movie could fail at any moment, you know, because we had 15 days to make a movie. We pushed ourselves to the limit.
Pause. You made this in 15 days?
We shot it in 15 days. But
we rehearsed for about 10 years.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We really worked on it for over 10 years. We would have readings. We thought about it. How are we going to do this? So by the time you're actually doing it, your instincts are pretty honed. You had to just go.
Sure,
but we worked. I'd never seen this guy work so hard.
But it's like, until people see this, they're not really going to understand. I'm being so sincere when I say it's all you talking. There's so much dialogue. Were you off book on the whole thing?
That makes it sound so bad. It is. No. I have to say though, it's all Larry Hart. It really is. You're watching a person implode.
100%.
And when he walks in, what?
Yeah. The first half especially.
But where I was going with this is without Margaret Qualley, without Bobby Cannavale, without Andrew Scott, these guys, they're supporting me, they're pushing me, they're there. And yeah, it's the Larry Hart show, but this whole movie wouldn't work without them. They were just I was so lucky to have a supporting cast like that they're making me look good every second.
And I'm not, I came when I'm like, it's all you talking, but it's like, there's so much of you and so much, we learned so much about Hart, and there's so much that you have to do. My main question is, how much did you know all the dialogue before the day one? Could you film anything on any day? In terms of
I've been prepping for this my whole life, meaning learning how to learn lines and how to get them embodied into you and stuff. And I still, if I had it to do over again, I would have loved 2 more weeks of rehearsal. But was I ready? Yeah, that's all I did for months beforehand. That's all I did for months.
But to answer your question, Steve, we couldn't perform the entire thing like a play. We weren't that old, but you kind of take it in chunks.
So talk a little bit about how you wanted like the look and feel of the film, because it mostly takes place in one location.
Yeah, almost.
So talk a little bit about how you wanted to stage it and make it all work and keep, you know what I mean? And
yeah, people talk about that. It's like, oh, it's one room. It sounds like a play, but this was never a play. It was always cinema to us, So I don't know, just shoot it like any other. You get excited about the space. We're at Sardi's. Look at all this great decoration. Oh, we'll go. It seems so funny because it's like, oh, we'll get over here. You get excited. Oh, we have that scene in the bathroom, and then the party's going on over there. So you just get excited about your space and you make it work cinematically with the actors. So
you came up with this idea really early on that the movie kind of needed to feel like a Rodgers and Hart song. The way it feels, it's funny, it's heartbreaking, it's moving, and so in a lot of ways, I felt like my job was the lyrics, like Larry Hart, and Rick's job was Richard Rodgers' job, which is to be the film, what's moving, what's the infrastructure that holds up the song, and so
music and lyrics.
I think there's a line in the film that is, I think you say it, I think I'm remembering this right, where it's, who wants inoffensive art? And I love that line because I feel that recently everyone is just being so careful. And for a long time, artists, musicians were willing to take risks and push boundaries and push the people in charge and talk about things. And I feel like the last decade, especially the last few years, everyone is walking on eggshells.
Oh, I know. I find myself daydreaming about John Lennon and Bob Marley and the people of my youth that were always challenging the social status quo.
That's the artist's job. It always has been.
And something about the internet has done a pervasive, quiet fear of...
And the corporate control of everything. It's even more corporate than ever, so...
Yeah, no.
There's just no...
Where are the musicians singing out?
We always count it because musicians, they have an immediacy. Kent State can happen, and then a week later they can release Ohio, the song. Movies take a year to 18 months. It's hard to respond in the moment to politics in movies. You can kind of catch the tenor of the times. But you count on music to really hit that.
But the algorithm is killing us with that. It's just that there's like 14 people that decide what music we're going to be listening to all the time, and they put all this money into it. There are so many wonderful artists right now, musicians that are struggling to make a living because Spotify pays them 1 cent a song or something. And so you can go to see people's concert where there'll be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people singing the lyrics of their songs, and these people on stage can't afford to pay their band. And you're like, wow, this is, something's broken about that. And it's not allowing new growth the way I think in the 60s it did.
Yeah, or to feel like you're part of one culture, that we're all moving in the same water. Now it's very dispersed and divided. So,
but that said, there's a lot of great work happening.
Always,
one of the things I've been impressed, these Toronto Film Festival, Telluride, Venice, this time of year, all I'm doing is hearing how great everybody else's movie is.
Yeah.
There's so much positive energy happening.
Yeah, I never bag on film. It's like, oh, it's been the same story the 30 plus years I've been doing. It's like, oh, it's like every year a lot of great films get made, no matter what. Somehow, some way, it happens. So bless it.
I completely agree. I have to ask you guys, what do you think Hart would think about his story being a movie and not a musical or something on the stage?
Oh, I think he'd love it.
I think he'd love it. You kidding?
Well, because it's him he was that witty wordsmith guy. It just flowed out of him. He was a poet.
And if it was a stage thing, he'd want to write it. But a movie, I think he would enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, a guy who's more or less forgotten, the fact that 82 years after his death, we've made a movie about him. I love that, because he was just an American master, you know, the greatest lyricist of the 20th century, in my opinion. So it's fun to honor someone like that in their life and time, you know.
So if I read this, could be wrong, but I think that you based this on the real letters between him and Elizabeth, or am I completely off?
No, you're not completely off. I mean, I think that was the inspiration. That was Robert Kaplan wrote the script, and I just can't say enough about the quality of the writing of this.
Yeah.
And one of the inspirations which broke his brain was finding these love letters between Hart and this young...
Love letters. Yeah, letters.
Not love letters, letters. But it was clear that Hart was in love with this young woman around the time period that Rodgers was breaking up with him. And it kind of, if you know a lot about Larry Hart, you're like, why is he projecting this love onto this person he doesn't know when he's being broken up with the person he knows with best in the world? And it's a kind of profound psychological question about how we all do that.
Yeah.
There's some wounds that are so big you just can't look at them, and you kind of create new wounds so that you don't have to deal with the real wound.
And she's got her own wounds, Margaret's character. You know, it's kind of like this impossibility of love theme throughout, you know.
I always love talking about editing. You've heard me ask this before, but how did this one change in the editing room at all in ways you didn't expect, or was it exactly what you guys went in with?
Good question.
You know, you still have to construct the movie like any other movie, but this is unique because there was no moving anything around. You know, it was A to Z in order. We couldn't put something earlier, the real timeness of it. So you're really kind of painted in a corner. We really didn't cut anything.
But that's why rehearsal is so important to you. It's like the place where you can change the order is in rehearsal.
I've always liked that. No matter what film I'm doing, I'm never like, oh, we'll just fix this in post, a performance or something. That's impossible. So it fit my own kind of way I like to work, but it still came together. It comes together pretty quick because you've done all the work in advance, and it's just kind of a I won't say it's just technical, but it flows pretty nicely.
And Sanders cut all your movies.
Yeah, we got such a shorthand.
So
I mean, I had a screening of this 3 weeks after we wrapped. I did a first cut screening to show it to some people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, we were still working on music, and there's a lot of sound work, but the picture was there. You know,
and it was the same way with like Before Sunset. That I remember you. That so much of that movie was edited before we started to shoot. You know, because there's like 11-minute takes, for example. There's 11 minutes done right there.
Yeah, and again,
pick the take. Yeah,
and again, for people that are watching who've never seen the Before Sunrise trilogy, for the love of fucking God, what have you done with your life? Seriously, it's crazy. Okay, so I do have to switch to another subject, if you don't mind. My favorite film of Cannes, I call it New Wave, but it's not the right word.
That's the American title.
Yeah,
yes.
Oh, is it?
The English title, yeah. Nouvelle Vague is.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it wrong, but I'm sure you've seen it. But I was so blown away by that film and watching it at Cannes, because it takes place partly at Cannes. It is incredible. For people that haven't heard about it, what can you tell people about it?
Oh, wow. It's going back the same way we go back to 1943 in this movie and catch the end of an artist's career. We go back to 1959, Paris, and catch the beginning of Jean-Luc Godard and a bunch of other of the new wave directors we all love and been inspired by. So, you know, it's going back to 1959 and a really kind of revolutionary moment in film history that still reverberates today, 65 years later.
And the key thing he's leaving out is how much fun the movie is. Oh my God, how funny it is.
I mean, it's in a small subgenre of movies about making movies. So I thought I always had one of those, but instead of doing it about one of my own movies, like we could have fun with that. But I thought, go into the history of get under the hood of a movie, you know, a very influential movie. So it was a crazy experience. It's like being in a dream.
It is, and you've seen it then.
I love it.
It's so good. Like, especially if you love movies.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
And the thing about it, though, and the reason why I love your work is that you are not locked to a genre. You are able to use your art in all sorts of genres. And this is, for people that don't realize, it's in French. You're shooting in France. Like the list goes on and on.
It's in French, it's in black and white, and it's a party. It's as much of a party as Dazed and Confused is. It's just, you don't expect it. You think, French New Wave, I guess it's going to be pretentious or something. And the movie is a full-blown party. I loved it.
Yeah, and also, you do not have to have seen
you don't have to know Abudisuf.
I'm excited for young people to see your movie, and then they're going to go watch Breathless, and they're going to go watch all the new wave films.
Yeah, it's like young people putting on a show, getting together, all that youthful enthusiasm about creating, and
was
that leap of faith you take when you make your first film. It's both kind of unnerving, frightening. You're so insecure, but then you're also so kind of arrogantly confident too.
Is that the way you were in Slacker?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I say you can spot a director with this kind of unearned kind of swagger. You can spot him, a first-time director. It's like, you have that, you just don't have anything to show for it until you do. It's a weird headspace to be in.
I really, for people who haven't seen it yet, you are in for such a treat. It's so good.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. It's for us, it's for film folks, but like you said, everybody.
You recently, I think, worked with Russell Crowe on, I want to call it The Wait. Mm-hmm. Tell people, talk a little bit about working with Russell and making that film.
It was a fantasy of mine to make an old-fashioned action movie, like the kind of character-driven action movie that I grew up on, the Steve McQueen, Paul Newman action movies. And so it's a little bit Cool Hand Luke meets Treasure of Sierra Madre, and Russell Crowe's one of the greatest actors of our time, and so I was incredibly lucky to get to do that with him. He's a powerhouse.
He is.
Is he the
I
bad guy?
love his work.
Yeah, he's the heavy.
I hope he's the
heavy.
Yeah, no, I love his work. So before you guys leave, I have a few minutes left. With everyone that's been coming in, I've been doing something called Get to Know Your TIFF Attendee. I swear to you, these are harmless questions.
Get to know your TIFF attendee.
Yeah,
okay.
And the first question is, what do you love to cook? As I said, they're harmless. These are not hard-hitting.
That's a very hard-hitting one for me, because if anybody in my family was here while you asked that question, the room would have exploded into laughter.
Me too.
What do I like to cook is...
Can you boil water?
I can order pizza. I can order, various different burritos.
So you're good on the apps.
I know I'm actually not even good on the apps.
So you call the restaurant.
I call. I'm still old school. I call them up.
Okay.
And but no, my mac and cheese is my go-to. Popcorn, toast. You fry a hell of an egg.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I got really good at breakfast.
Yeah,
and I've just incorporated. There's this veggie bacon that I've gotten, and it's so good. You got to do it just right though. So
he's mastered breakfast, which is
that's the main meal. Of the
it's
day.
an important meal.
Yeah, I've got my methodologies. I'm narrow, but deep.
Quality,
really deep quality in a very narrow field.
Do you have a favorite food?
My favorite food is extremely embarrassing. Chips and salsa.
I don't think that's...
When in doubt, chips and salsa is all I need. Just give me some chips and salsa and I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know. Stir fry, veggie, I don't know. Food. It's all great.
Yeah, well, the Impossible Burgers have changed veggie burgers.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, they're really, really good now. So that's great.
I would love to eat them. I have to eat low salt, and they're very high in salt.
Yeah, they probably are.
And that's the only negative. Otherwise, they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So food. We're talking about food a lot.
Yeah, switching gears though.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the last movie, TV show, or book that you've read that you really want to recommend to people?
Oh, can I go first?
Oh, wow. Okay.
For some reason, I've always loved the cover of the book, and I've never read it. And it's a Jim Thompson novel called Pop 1120. And it's one of those books I've bought like 4 times in my lifetime just because the cover has got this like really beautiful woman with a mailbox. It's really something evocative about the cover. But I've never read it. And I finally read it, and I couldn't put it down. It is so funny. If you want to understand the president of the United States right now, read this book. All right, you got to read it. He's an absolute sociopath who thinks he's a good person, and it's so hysterical. And you reading it, and you're like, this is the most prescient novel about the corruption of a human soul. And it's literally like Jim. You feel Jim Thompson. No, because he writes all this crime fiction, but it's like in my imagination, he spent a whole summer reading Dostoevsky, and he got on this huge Dostoevsky, and he was like, I can write a crime book that's like a Dostoevsky novel. And he did. It's absolutely phenomenal. High recommend.
Wow. So you went novel. TV show, movie, but well, I'll do book too. I just finished a novel by Larry Hart called The Human Scale. It's more serious than what, it's very contemporary.
He's
it's about
brilliant.
Yeah.
Larry Hart is such a great
and he's
writer.
known for his New Yorker pieces, you know, Going Clear, Looming Tower, but this is a novel. But it brings all his knowledge of the Middle East. He's been over there, he taught there. He knows so much. So it's really about, you know, Israel, Palestine. It leads up to October 7th. It's really deep. And I feel like I know so much more about the most complex situation on earth right now, probably. And I felt I got the name Human Scale is the title because you really get to know so many people from all the angles. It's so complex, but it put it at a human level that I really appreciate. I learned so much, you know, reading it. And it was a good read. It's intriguing. You know, kind of page turner.
Yeah,
I was proud of it.
That.
I was like, wow,
that.
Human Scale. So I don't think people are talking about it much, but it seems like a novel of our time, you know.
I'm out of time, but I'm going to sneak one last thing. Do you have a favorite musician or band?
Historically?
I'm gonna jump off and really support new music, and I'm gonna go. I've just been wildly in love with this band Phosphorescent for the last few years. Phosphorescent, Charlie Crockett, River Shook. There's some of my favorites.
God, that's one of those overwhelming questions. My own little ADHD brain I see so many different. It's almost impossible to answer.
Yeah.
But you know, day in, day out, you know, I put on Rubber Soul this morning. I wanted to get the day going. I thought, I'll listen to the Beatles. That was a good way to start the day.
You can't go wrong.
And I hadn't done that in a long time, but you know, that's
Sure.
my
But
teenage. That's my teenage boy
my-
answer. My current answer. I don't
My
know.
girl's first day of
Yeah.
school was on Thursday, and I just cranked "Good Day Sunshine," and it just gets it's just
It's a good way to start the
you just
day.
crank it. It's like
You think
impossible
when those
not to
guys
love.
made that, they thought we're going to be bringing a joyful thing
I think
into
they
the
did think
world
that.
forever.
I think they did think that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I appreciated it, especially
Again,
this morning.
I have a million other things I could talk about, but I have to stop.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say thank you so much. Again, I really appreciate the art that you guys do together. And for everyone who's watching, please tune in to Collider for more interviews and stay tuned.
Thank you, Steve.